All right, welcome back to Dr. Walls and Friends, and we are here with the president of Sisters in Harmony, Brother Ed Umoja Herman.
Yes, I'm a crazy one.
You are the president. So now here is the question that most people ask. How is it that you are the president of an all-women's organization?
You want the straight answer or the crooked one?
We would like the straight answer, please.
Okay. Well, what happened, Sisters in Harmony actually came out of a concept of a poster I did in 1997-98.
Okay.
Where I took two women, dressed them up in the culture. Everything was the same. The locks, the earrings, everything was the same. Only one difference was that one was light skin, one was dark skin. And the thing, my whole thing was about the harmony that exists outside of what we see.
Okay.
And we did that in 97-98. On a business level, it did horrible. But what happened is, on a spiritual level, God planted that seed. Okay. So when we fast forward to 2007, 2008, when I started to revisit some of my old projects, that was one of the projects I revisited. And I started doing different projects, like different pictures and posters. And then in 2009, 2000 and 2000, I was working on called Evolution. And Evolution was showing the black and white versions of us as a people. Okay. So we had the women in black and women in white. And I was doing a shoot here in Philadelphia, and a couple of sisters I met in Michael Basie's Mingle City came out. One of us Ruby Burke. Okay. And then we had Sharon Jordan, we had Barbara Barrett, we had about 15 women coming. Okay. And from that meeting of Ruby, Barbara, and Sharon, we got together in the group. Okay. And it was 4 of us, Memorial Day 2009. So you fast forward to 2012, we have over 400 members in 38 states and 14 countries now. Wow. It shows you, people could say, yeah, you did a good job, but I said, this is what happens when you put God first. As we moved in that spirit, we saw that the women across the country were feeling the same thing. Either we're in California, Florida, Dallas, wherever they were, you felt this common link. Okay. That we did not see in television, that we did not hear on the radio, but it was in the community, and it was not only Christians, it was Muslims, it was everyone. This women, there is nobody on this planet who came here by themselves. We all came through a woman. Yes. But yet, we put women in this position where we like and respect in the music, and the images, and then we want to know what's wrong with the community. Right. So I said to myself, no, I'm not someone who complain about something, I can do something about it. Okay. So as we start doing these, and then, they say, well, you're going to be the president, we want you to be the president, and we start putting the pieces together. And I said to myself, okay, there's a couple of things. One thing I want to do is just keep the membership of women on. Okay. And I said, why? I said, well, my mom made her transition in March of 2005. My mom was a single mom, 3 boys and a girl, we all went to school, we all got degrees. So as we see some women saying, oh, it's so difficult, I can't do this, I gotta take care of the kids, I do this. And I think to myself, wait a minute, my mom does with 3 boys and a girl. We all went to college, we all got degrees. As difficult as it is, we can't do it. Right. If we put that barrier and we can't, of course you're not gonna do it. But if you say, well, this is what's happening, this is what I'm gonna do. Either I'm gonna go over the mountain, under it, through it, or around it, or I'm gonna get this done. Right. And this is what we did in Sisters in Harmony. So as people say, well, what's this about? And as they started to see, we put a sentence together and said, working to put more positive images of women back into the community on a mental, physical, and spiritual level. That was a sentence that, on a business level, that hit them real quick. Right. So that one sentence, okay. Once they look at a sentence, you peel it back, you see the 5 major divisions. Okay. And in the 5 major divisions is a CAW, creative artwork. We have a book division, a music division, a film division, and a health division. Okay. Those 5 divisions help define us as an organization, but yet it puts a stamp on us as a community. Yes. And when we say community, we mean planet Earth. That's why we travel all over the place. Because when I was in England in 2009, September 2009, I heard the same challenges and the same issues, but with a British accent. So that tells me, like, wait a second, y'all have the same issues that we have in the U.S. And then when Trinidad, the same thing. Okay. It's the same issues. Right. As we move, the issues move with us. It changes color, it changes clothes, but it's still the same issue. How do the women say, how do we get a better life for our children? Right. How do we take care of our families? So when Sisters in Harmony is saying, well, don't do it by yourself, because no one can do it by yourself.
That's right.
So if I connect the dots with New York, Florida, California, then we go overseas and start connecting the dots. If you have a product in Jersey or in Pennsylvania, why don't you put it and show the people in the UK?
Right.
Because they need it too.
Right.
So Sisters in Harmony is putting that networking, that real networking. So we made sure, Ruby and I made sure we said non-religious,
Okay.
but God-centered.
Okay.
We're very proud of that. Because if you're Muslim, if you're Christian, if you're Hindu, whatever you are, the title does not make you a good person.
Right.
We have to remember that. It's what's in your heart that makes you a good person. So the religious part, I respect the titles, but that's not what it's about. It's about what are you doing when you leave the mosque, when you leave the church, when you leave the temple, what are you doing in your community?
Right.
So then we put that aside, then we say, okay, we're non-political, but we're politically aware. Because if you're a Democrat, you still got to eat food. If you're a Republican, you still got to eat food. So what am I going to say, oh, you're a Republican, I'm not going to work with you? That's a bunch of nonsense. Because we live in the same country. What's going to hit you is going to hit me tomorrow.
Right.
So why don't I help you make sure you don't get hit? So that way, down the road, I will not get hit.
Right.
So we respect all those titles. Human nature wants to put us in boxes. It's our decision to stay in those boxes and work within those boxes or step out of the box.
Right.
And my decision, being from the Caribbean with my grandparents, I step out of the box. When I'm really like my mom, go ahead. So I took that thing my grandparents taught me in the Caribbean and I moved it to where I said, you know what, I could work with any person once for one. I said to myself, if I respect you and you respect me, let's agree to disagree.
Right.
And that's a common link right there. If we agree to disagree, we have something we can work on.
Right.
Then once we get the respect in there, we can look at the harmony. See, because if there's harmony, there's movement in a positive way. Because if I'm respecting you and harmony, we're moving together. So once you do that, then the love comes in. And I know I'm not too familiar a lot with the Quran, but in the Christian Bible, it tells me God is love. So if I love you, what am I doing? I'm representing God. Because God is love.
That's right.
And if I love you, what am I doing? I'm showing God. God in me, the God in you.
Oh, where that tambourine? Where is that tambourine? That's right.
So as we move in Sisters in Harmony, we saw there's a need to do this. And you know, I don't make any excuses for it, I don't apologize for it, but if we are to take our communities back, it has to start with our women. Because as a young boy growing up in New York, if my girlfriend told me to do something, I'm going to do it. You know? Hey, that's a baby, do this. Okay. So if we show the women the power they have, we can move the community where we need to move it.
Yes.
So if my girlfriend says, baby, don't eat no more pork. Okay. So if you eat pork, you can't kiss me. Oh, I ain't eating no more pork. Hey,
no ham for
bye,
you.
piggy.
No ham. No ham.
So we know the reality of it. We know the power of our women. The issue we have, are we going to respect it?
And it also seems like women remembering the power that they have.
That's a challenge. So, well, not only remembering, some of the young girls don't understand that they have that.
Right.
Unfortunately, Fifth Avenue understands that. So that's why they use women in the way they use them. And these young girls just realize, oh, I'm getting paid.
Right.
But in that whole them getting paid, guess what? You're losing your respect. You're giving your power up. So if we can get sisters together to embrace on this thing, let's work this network together.
Right.
And say, listen, now we got you networking, you're working together. Let's touch the young women. Let's show them that they can do something. You look good, but guess what? You got something between your ears. Okay. Corporate America is looking whatever they're looking at you, and I hate to say it, they're looking for what you have between your legs. Just look at what's between your ears. What's between your ears is so powerful that they make billions of dollars on it every year. So now you're giving it up.
Right.
And so Sisters in Harmony saying, let's take that and let's look for women in business. That's how I network with everybody. You know, I was like Facebook, boom, boom, boom. I send it out. Now my whole thing is, for every 10 I send, I might get 2 back. But God sends me what I need. Right. Every time. Every time it's like, boom. I mean, I didn't know Ruby before that. And I know her now. She's like, she's sister to me. Her son is my son. And I understand as I get older, my responsibility in the community is to leave it better than when I first got
That's
there.
right.
And if we understand that, then we will move to where if we see Sister Marla walking down the street, she has 3-4 bags in her hand. Help her out. Help the sister out.
Yes.
You know, help the sister out. Do those things. You know, you see, sister, it doesn't make you less of a person.
Right.
It shows you that, you know, the Bible tells us the greatest thing to do is to serve.
Right.
It's service. And if we could just take that and just move that step by step, we could do better in the community. This is how important.
And you know, it's interesting because you can always do better.
Yes.
And I had read in a book a long time ago, and I had even, you know, I teach it as well, and I also live it, that whole idea that sometimes you may see, let's say, an elderly person, or as you were saying, Sister Mother as an example, where she has 4 bags. So you may hold the door for her to get out, but guess what? There's another step. You can also assist her with the bags. You can also help her get those bags in her car. So there's always more that can be done. So Sisters in Harmony sounds like it's very conscious of, as you said, connecting the dots and making the community a better place and really making it a community as opposed to just using a word.
Yes, that's true. Because if we think about it, we all have mothers or someone who raised us. There's going to be your birth person. It could be the person, that the auntie next door, the neighbor who watched over you, who helped you, you know. That person, one day, will not be able to help you, it'll be your chance to help them.
That's right.
But before that day comes,
Right.
you know, we say, you know, you put yourself in service.
Yes.
Because how do I become a man? It's just not by age. That's for the legal aspect. 18 that says you're a man. But what did you do to become a man?
That's right.
What steps did you take? What did you know? What promises did you make? You know, you have to be responsible. So as you walk out in that community, people see you and they say, "Oh, good morning, Mr. So-and-so. Good morning." Because that's how I grew up. I couldn't walk down the street and I say good morning to some of my grandparents would tear my butt up when I just it was disrespect not only to me but to the whole family.
Right.
That we did not honor that spirit that we walked in.
Right.
And that's the spirit we must get back to because corporate America doesn't care where they get the money from. They just care to get the money. So it's up to us to say, we have to care what we put, the health, what we put in our bodies. Our bodies are our temple.
That's right.
If we put junk in, junk out, like in the same computers, you know, junk in, junk out.
Right.
So if we start honoring our bodies,
Yes.
you know, your minds change. You know, you start thinking differently. Your mind, you know, if you like eat a lot of the wrong things, you throw your whole balance off.
Yes.
So now sisters home and say, well, you know what? We're going to address the health issue we have. We have a serious health issue in the community. Let's address that. Okay. Okay. The music. If I tell people, if you like all the music you hear, then fine. Don't be with sisters in home. But if you hear the music and you don't like it, let's do something about it.
That's right.
So you know, we have the musicians. Come on, let's have some positive music. Let's get that flow inside there.
Well, let's talk about that because you also have a radio show called Speaking to Harmony, which is really the voice of Sisters of Harmony. And Speaking to Harmony comes on every Thursday night from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also now Tuesdays nights as well. Thank you. Again, from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Some of the different shows that you have on, we've talked earlier on some other shows, we've talked about There's a Few Good Men. There's,
I like that.
Yes, because finally men get a chance to be honored. We've also talked about Dressing for Destiny with Nikki O.
Yeah, that's very important.
Very important. You also, there's health. There's several people that come on to talk about the physical health and well-being. What are some of the other shows that your segments?
Well, starting next month in May, we're actually going to be doing the first Mondays also.
Okay.
And what we're doing is we're bringing in the liberal art, we're bringing in the art, performing art. So we have a sister who's a dancer. She's going to come up talking about that. We have Sister Kukawa.
Sister Kukawa. So for those of you who are in Maryland at the Maryland Knowledge Tour, who had a chance to experience Sister Kukawa, I think I should bring a certain someone back up to talk about their experience with Sister Kukawa. You know, I'll just say that I was watching the workout. Kukawa is like an African aerobic, well, not like it is an African aerobic workout. The equivalent would kind of be like a Zumba.
Zumba stepped up and bring the culture back in.
Yes.
Culture back.
I love the way that you say that because it is taught by a woman. Her name is Kukawa, which means born on a Wednesday in Ghana.
Yeah, she's from Ghana.
And she is from Ghana, and she's an African dance teacher, and she's put together this aerobic system. and she has over 500 trainers who were trained in the Umoja system. And it is so much fun, and it is truly, truly a workout.
And and this is what we talk about connecting the dots. She came to me through one of our members who lives in South Carolina to her class in Miami.
Oh wow!
Yeah, one of our sister part of the Gullah-Geechee Nation. She told me, she sent me the link. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, wow. So I contacted her and we started talking and this, So it's all like in divine order.
Yes.
Because nothing happened by accident. I don't believe that. I think it's very disrespectful to say something happens. This happens because you take God out of it. Because to me, my definition of luck is when you prepare yourself and the opportunity comes.
That's right.
I mean, luck is nothing dropping out of the sky. Where you take God out of it and you say that.
That's
so to me, my definition of luck is opportunity and preparation coming.
And that, where is that tambourine? We got to get that. Yes, because that's very similar to what Nikki O was talking about earlier as far as dressing for destiny, that you start the walk early so that when the opportunity comes, you've already started that walk.
You put the work in.
You put the work in.
And
Exactly.
And that's what when we started speaking to Harmony back in 2009, in November, and the interesting thing about that is, I didn't do any work. We had a member named Angela Maxwell in Oklahoma City who had a blog radio, and she said, you know what, you guys need this. She went and she did all the work, she sent all the paperwork, whatever we had done, she did it, and then she called me, she sent me the link.
Wow.
Same thing about our website. Sister Francine Adams down in Miami, she does websites.
Okay.
She put our website together for us.
Wow.
And sent it to us and said, hey, take care of it.
This is what you need.
And this is what networking is doing. And that's what I'm saying, the power of the women, because they, as a guy, I see it one way, but the women see it another way.
Yes.
And being maternal, they always want to feed.
Yes.
Always want to make things healthy.
Yes.
So they want to make sisters and home healthy, so they've been giving us things to make us better.
Wonderful.
They've been giving us networking with other women around the country, around the planet really now. So we find ourselves in a position where, what do we do next with this awesome power that God is presenting to us? Because it's not me or Rudy being so good. It's us being smart to understand God is God, the I am in us. To say, the God in me, the God in you is connecting those dots and making things happen. Even a few weeks ago, we changed the word supporters to ambassadors.
Yes.
Because we want people to know that these are ambassadors. People who are going out representing sisters in harmony. These are not supporters. That's like, when you say the word ambassador, it puts you to me, it puts you in a royal place.
It does.
In royalty, because you are now saying, I am going to promote this because I believe in this.
Yes.
And that's what ambassadors are doing for us, going out promoting sisters in harmony. And as we do, we're connecting more dots and more dots. I mean, you look at the membership and you look at the followers and sisters in harmony, people say, how do you guys do that? I say, first of all, we didn't do it. First of all, this is God doing it.
Right.
Because there's no way two people could bring over 400 members and close to 1,000 people together.
That's right.
That cannot happen. Like, you cannot do that. If you think you're that cocky and arrogant, you think that you need to go do something yourself. I'm just being real. So when I pray, like in the last year or so, I found my prayers have become more focused.
Okay.
I found my prayers become more intense. So when I walk into a room, I expect a blessing out of that room.
Okay.
Like when I went to the Black Tie with Miss Ewings, I met I met so many people. I met Nikki O, Reverend Brown.
Nikki O,
and
yes.
the two of them now have, Nikki O is on the radio, Reverend Brown's on the radio. So I walked in there to help Sister Ewings out. And because I walked in to help her, God blessed me and gave me things I didn't even know that was in that room for me. So I'm like, whoa, okay? So as you see that happening, you understand that you're just a very small piece of a greater puzzle.
Right.
And you accept that walk and that focus, things start to happen for you.
Now you use the word walk and focus, and so you talked about when this part of the journey began. It began back, did you say 97?
Well, that's when we did the first post.
That's when you did the first post, right. And you were taking focus, you were behind the lens. And so we're going to talk about that just for a moment, that you being a photographer, and that really this journey started with that, you being a photographer. So talk a little bit about that side of you.
Well, one thing I do, I say to myself a lot, and I'm probably start saying it more, is that I'm not a photographer, I'm a creator.
Oh, excuse me, here's a griot. And for those of you who do not know what a griot is, a storyteller.
So we have a lot of griots in our community. KRS-One and a lot of rap pop. They are griots. They use a microphone to tell their story.
Okay.
I'm a griot. I use a camera to tell our story. And I said out of respect for people who went to school for 4 degrees in photography, I did not do that. I'm self-taught. God has put this gift in my hand.
Okay.
So I like to use for myself. I say I'm a griot. It puts me up in that realm. And also it takes me back to the continent.
Okay.
To where images and words is everything we have to get the word. You know, we heard the drum, the tambourine. There were certain beats that we played that told the community things was coming.
Right.
Right? You heard boom, 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 boom. You know, if I tell you rain was coming, whatever. So we use those things to tell our story. So being behind the camera, when I look through the camera lens, you know, well, for me first, it's always prayer. So people don't know about me. Before I go out, it's just like a prayerful thing to put myself in that focus, because I first understand what I'm about to do. I'm about to capture an image in that second that will outlive me and outlive the person on the image.
Wow.
Imagine how many of us actually met Dr. King or Martin or Malcolm or A. Philip Randolph, but we know all of the images that we see.
Interesting.
So every time I agree, when I go out, I realize I'm about to capture an image. That's when it outlives me. So that's the first thing I understand from that perspective. So when someone stands in front of my camera, I take it very seriously. Because I don't know where that image is going to go.
Right.
That image might be an image that might move someone to do great things. Okay? So we have to be conscious of that. When we point the camera at someone, we are freezing that instant in time. And if we take care of that image, it will outlive us.
Wow.
And that's why I tell people a picture is an act of this person above an image is an art. I like to use the word image. An image is an art. Because when you go into the art, you look at the lighting, you look at the angles, you look at the person. Is that person standing on the strong side or the weak side?
Right.
You need to understand the strong side and the weak side of someone and what that means.
Right.
What are you putting out there? Because no, you're talking to a child, you want to give them the soft side so they can open up to you.
Right.
But I'm talking to adults, I give them my strong side, depending on what adults I'm talking about, what I'm talking about, the nature of the conversation. So as an artist, as a griot, when I point that camera at people, I'm looking at the light. The two most important things in photography is angles and light.
Okay.
You think about it. You have a lot of light, dramatic lights will make you move. Right? But the angles, looking up at somebody, that's whenever I shoot children, I kneel down. Okay, I want to go eye to eye with that child. But you shoot down at a child, you can look small, and the image tells something totally different. Like that child is inferior, and we know that you're not inferior. So I bend my knees and I come down to the child to make that child fill the frame. So that way we see the environment of that child coming out. Imagine the image of Barack Obama with the child. We have a whole bunch of little Baracks walking around, potential Baracks walking around in our community right now. Malcolm X spoke about it. The man he ran the numbers for, he said I was a great mathematician because no one ever trained him. He became a numbers runner, but this man never wrote anything down. He kept everything, all the numbers in his head. So we have all these great potential people in our community walking around. So when I'm behind the camera, I think of all of that. The process that I go through, we call it image, and we're doing today. I shot people standing, I went high, low, low. Because when I start putting the image together, this image, Hood for Life, must tell a story about an incident that happened in our time. And that story is going to be told to people we will never meet. So when Hood for Life come out, and you hang that on your wall, people walk into your house, what's that about? Okay? So it might just happen now in 2012. So in 10 years, children who are born right now, they'll be 10 years old, they're going to walk into your house, they're going to see that. It's going to be your responsibility to explain that to them. But before you could explain that to them, I must tell that story correctly to the best of my abilities. So that way I can help you tell that story. So you see, an image is an art. So whenever you pick a camera or a video, you point that, think about, what are you sending to the future? It's not for you. Those images are not for you. What we did today is not for you. It's not for us. It is for the future we'll never see. See, because all those images, imagine your great-grandparents. Do you have any picture of your great-great-great-grandparents? Imagine if you did. I was talking with the ultimate. Imagine we had a picture of Christ. There would be no question about his skin color, would there? There would be no color. If we actually had an image of Christ, what would that do? So that's how powerful images are. Images define the instant of what we're trying to tell. Tony Cummings was there telling his poem. Like, we never saw him before. I could tell you, well, he's about 10 feet tall, 95 pounds, dark as coal. You're like, really? Oh, come on, that's him. But he said, no, I have a picture of him.
Right.
This image is telling me who this man is.
Right.
See, this is why images are so important. And this is why, you know, in Sisters in Harmony, we talk about the power of the image. But you see, I could tell people Dr. Wilson so and so, but as we move you from radio to images on YouTube, and we're going to put this, there will be, and I believe this in my heart, because the Bible tells me with the story of the woman with the blood issue, she didn't have to talk to Christ. She just believed if she touched him, she was going to be healed. That's what the Bible tells us. So as we move you, I truly believe in my heart, someone's going to see your image. A little girl somewhere, someone's telling her she's ugly, she doesn't look good, she's not smart, and she looks like you. And she's going to see your image, and you're going to say, bro, she's on TV, she's a doctor, she looks just like me. So they're telling me it's not right. So every image we capture, everything we put in our community must be at a point where we say, we can do better. And it's our responsibility that those children get that. Because someone did it for us. See, Gordon Parks did it for me. I always tell people, the reason I got into photography because I met Gordon Parks for maybe 30 seconds. No words exchanged between me and him. He just looked at me and I looked at him. I didn't know who he was. But later on I found out this man, this cool looking man with this thing in his hand and there'd be no camera. I said, well, you know what? If he could look that cool with a camera in his hand, I want to be like that. And later my mom gave me a camera. And I started taking pictures. So every time we walk across a child, we have to think, what are we believing for that child? If we cuss at that child, what's going to happen to them? We say, I have a thing when I meet young men, I say, hey, how's it going, young warrior? I shake their hand. I say, yo, man, come on, shake my hand. Because I want them to know they are a young warrior in training. Not only physically, mentally, and spiritually. That is my job in the community to do that. And Sisters in Harmony doing the same thing. We are putting 5 major divisions out. And we're telling the women, you know what? It doesn't matter your religious background, it doesn't matter your cultural background. If you're into doing positive things in your community, come on, just ride with us. Come on, get on the SIH train. I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You know, and it makes me feel good that I'm able to see and hear these stories because I mean, I get some stuff now in my emails. I was like, I know it's all God sent. You know, it puts me in a position where even had Coco's. I met Coco doing. She was doing the makeup for you. Yep. At your when we shooting you. And she had this dynamite attitude, man. She's like so cool. I was like, I like her, man. She's cool. But she walked into the room and she was like, boom, boom, boom. She was doing your makeup and she was talking with you. And I was showing her stuff. She yeah. We were just talking. We just started flowing so good. That wasn't an accident. Right. So I know God may put her into my life for a reason. This is the 3rd time now in this place, in this spot. And I said to her, you know what? We're gonna blow this spot up. Right. We need to blow this spot up. And I told her when I came in the very first time, because it is my responsibility as not only this as an African American, this as a male, as a human being, to look into my community. What is happening in my community? How can I make it better? Okay, because if I make it better with my sons or my nieces and my nephews, they will get something from that. Because Coco one day my niece someone to help in the store, and my niece might be that one. That's right. We don't know. Right. But it is up to us to put that spirit out there, that energy out there. So as we move. I know Tony coming because of Ruby. So now I know brother down in Maryland. So we're gonna do so. I say, yo, T man, let's roll. You know, we can say, yo, roll, man, let's do this thing. So, you know, and that's what we do. Right. But now we're doing it with a sense of purpose. You know, Third World has a song called Sense of Purpose. As we have a sense of purpose, we move our community in that. So are we going to destroy the community or are we going to build it up? It's up to us. The decision's ours. Well, you about the easiest interview I done had. I can't say much at all. And you didn't want to pick up on the camera. Okay. Well, you know, thank you. Well, thank you very much. Thank you for making Sisters in Harmony one step better. No problem. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. And one thing that I do appreciate about Sisters in Harmony, you always make this statement, let us know what it is that you want to do, and we will help you do it. We won't do it for you. That's right. You say if you put it on the table, it will be there when you come back. That's right.
but we will help you do it. And that was a conversation from the first day we had, and I told you the different things that I wanted to do with my career. And you have been very instrumental in making sure that those pieces came to pass. And yes, I've had to do the work as well, but these are my desires of my heart. These are, you know, my dreams. And so I thank you for being obedient to your call and to your purpose so that I can be obedient to mine.
I thank you, but before more so thanking you, I thank your parents. So you see, what you have, your parents planted those seeds in you. Because if your parents did not plant those seeds in you, you would not be where you are today.
I would not be a belly dancing, truck driving, doctor making, tattoo wanna be wearing.
Well, our parents do that for us.
Right.
So your parents know we are the Sisters in Harmony and Speaking to Harmony and Dr. Walls and friends. Oh, your parents are great. Thank you, because they set that in motion. Right. They set the bar very high and demanding that you and your brothers go over that bar.
Right.
So you can't go over it, we're going to help you, but you got to get over that bar.
That's right.
And that's what
and being clear of the legacy, and that's a lot of what you're talking about as well, is being clear of the legacy that you came from, but also setting forth the legacy so that other people looking back, I always say 4 generations from now, understand why they must continue it. Yes. Preparing a society and a community for them that is safe for them to live in, that is functional, that is healthy for them to live in, and also a model for them to continue as well.
Yeah, because we have that in our community.
Right.
Marla did it a few weeks ago when she had everyone doing the dance.
Exactly.
She had everyone doing the dance. In front of the back of the room, she had people doing the
That's right. The wobble.
The wobble. She had people doing the wobble.
And that's, you know what, it's so interesting, and I'm going to say this and then we're going to get ready to close, is that I have seen your pictures, and it's funny, I've seen a couple pictures of Marla when she's dancing. And it is amazing to me that when I look at those images, I know what music was playing. And I was not there either time when she was dancing, but from the way in which you have captured those images, I can hear the music as if I was right there.
That's the story we tell images. That's what image is. That's why image is more powerful than a picture. Image is an art. Is an art. A picture is not. So if you're going to images, that's what.
Well, thank you very much.
Dr. Walls and friends.
You are welcome.
The t-shirt. Who did that?
Oh, Sisters in Harmony t-shirt. So now, if people are interested in Sisters in Harmony, if they would like to be a part of future projects, to find out what's going on, what is the best way for people to get in contact with you?
The best way to get in touch with us is through our website. Okay. That's the Sisters in Harmony Global 1.
And that is at the number one. All right, Sisters in Harmony Global, and then the number1.com.
All the information on that.
All right, thank you very much for joining us.